everyone. Welcome to our webinar this afternoon. It is now, isn't it? So we're going to be talking about how to get academic insight and experience into your business, and I'm delighted to be joined by the KTP team at the University of York, and Jonathan, Alexandros and Stephen will be joining us from IBM to talk about their experiences of the programme. So what we're going to talk about is really the difference that effective management and leadership can make between thriving companies and failing companies, especially in the climate of today. And Innovate UK has introduced this match-funded programme, which the team here are going to talk about a bit more. And there's this new management knowledge transfer partnership, which forms part of this KTP programme. Just a bit of background. I work for York and North Yorkshire Growth Hub. We provide free business support to businesses in York and North Yorkshire. And this is a really good time to collaborate with the university and look at how we can inject innovation into SMEs in our region. So Tracy is going to talk about the management KTPs and what makes them unique. It gives you a chance really to ask questions as well. I'm going to talk about the speakers now. Unfortunately, Andy's injured himself, so his replacement is Stephen, who you'll see on the left. So thank you very much, Stephen, for joining us at short notice today. We have Alex, as I say. Alex, the biography there, is a KTP associate who's working at University of York and IBM as an AI researcher and developer. So he's going to be talking about his experience. Jonathan as well, he's a software engineer and research student working with University of York and IBM, a University of York alumni. And John, is that right? You're a software developer. He's going to be talking a bit about his experience. Rukmal is the knowledge transfer manager at the University of York, and then we have Tracy Dancer, who's not quite new, I think, into role. Tracy, aren't you, for the last couple of months? So I think you were brought in under lockdown, so you've done amazingly well there. So just a few housekeeping points. All the participants will remain muted. If you wish to ask a question, just use the Q&A box at any time, or if you want to put your hands up, and we can bring you in live, I think, at the moment. A couple of people, so you can just come on live and ask questions. Okay, the meeting's also being recorded, so just so you're aware of that. Okay, well, thanks for listening. I'm really delighted to introduce Tracy Dancer, who's going to give you a bit more detail about the KTP. Pass over to you now, Tracy.
Thank you.
So you're now the host, Tracy. You should be able to share.
Thank you very much. Okay, share, present. Okay, welcome everybody. Great to have you on the webinar this afternoon. As Sarah says, I'm Tracy and I'm the KTP Project Manager at the University of York, and I'll be giving you a 10-minute presentation on KTPs. This will be followed by members of one of our current KTPs sharing their experiences. At the conclusion of the presentation, Rukmal, the Knowledge Transfer Manager, will be happy to take any questions. So what is a Knowledge Transfer Partnership? Well, it's a national programme which has been available to businesses for over 45 years and enables them to access funding, expertise and support strategic projects that stimulate innovation, expansion and performance improvements. There are currently over 800 KTPs running all around the UK, and the programme is funded primarily by Innovate UK, but research councils are also funders where applications meet their criteria. So how does the partnership work? Well, there are three key players. Firstly, a company which identifies a new strategic objective in its business planning, but realises it doesn't have the skills or resources in-house to deliver it. This is where the knowledge base, in our case, the University of York, steps in with the knowledge, expertise and experience to work with the company to develop a project application to achieve the objectives. Now, Innovate UK supports the project by funding 67% of it if you're an SME applicant. So they give £2 for every £1 you invest. And if you're a larger enterprise, they fund 50%. And the third player in the partnership is the graduate or KTP associate. The associate is the conduit for enabling the expertise and knowledge from the university to be transferred to and embedded in the company partner, ensuring the benefits of the project last well after it has ended. So all three elements come together with the partnership funding to meet the objective of the company. So here's some key information about KTPs. So the project dictates the duration, how much time is necessary to deliver the results, and that can be between 12 months and 3 years. The application is submitted online by the KTP team, but is developed by the academic and the company teams. The next deadline is the 7th of October, and after that, the 2nd of December. Being at such regular intervals is great because it means there's always one not too far away. As well as advice and support from the KTP team here at York, there is also a national team of KT advisors who assist from the very start of the process right through to the final report at a partnership's conclusion. Innovate UK are providing their funding in order to improve your business's competitiveness and productivity, and this has to be demonstrated through the application that's made. Both the company and the university are involved in the recruitment process, and the associate is ultimately employed by the university, but they are based at the company. Finances are managed by the university, so there is no admin burden for the company in that respect. And finally, the partnership academic or academics provide support for an average of half a day a week for the duration of the partnership. This is an invaluable part of the project. So on screen now, you just get a visual of the range of benefits that are available to your company if you got involved with a KTP. Now, the big question. You're obviously going to be wondering, what does it cost you? Well, if you're an SME, it'll be around 32 to 35,000 mark per annum. And for larger enterprises, around the 47 to 50,000 per annum. So as you can see, associates can be employed up to a salary of £45,000. If your project will command a higher salary than this, then your company will need to top up to the required level. As you'll see, the project includes up to £2,000 per annum for associate development, as well as travel and subsistence, and also a budget for consumables, and the other costs there as noted. Okay, so what I've covered thus far is information which relates to standard KTPs, the type of KTP that has been running for over 45 years. However, late last year, a new KTP was launched, the Management KTP. You'll be pleased to know that it has the exact same structure and setup as I've just described. Now, Management KTPs are part of a £25 million and 5-year programme that came to be from the Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy, BEIS. And they came to the fore after their release of the Business Productivity Review, which showed that the KTP lagged behind its competitors in terms of productivity. That same review identified the importance of leadership and management practices and how these can make a difference between failing and thriving companies, hence the Management KTPs. So to be eligible to apply for an mKTP, you must be an independent company of fewer than 500 staff. But do remember, if you have more than 500, you can still apply for a standard KTP. BEIS are targeting ambitious companies that want to grow. They're looking at top-level changes which cascade through a business and that boost, and that boost commercial performance. So what activities will be supported by a Management KTP? Please understand that the list that I'm providing here is not exhaustive. If you have any ideas on how to improve your business through implementing proven management, leadership and business practices, then I can pretty confidently say that they will be eligible. So business models. Undoubtedly, these are being tweaked, if not changed dramatically at the moment, given our current circumstances. You'll no doubt be looking at your existing market and possible new sectors and even export markets. So analysis of this is eligible for funding within the mKTPs. Promotion of entrepreneurial thinking, vital at this time for companies to become more agile and make quick decisions. Or you might want to be looking at activities to develop new products and services for new revenue streams. Benchmarking, what are your competitors doing? Are they doing it better than you? How can you surpass them? We're looking to drive the performance of your company higher. Scale-up practices are often considered in mKTPs, so the researching and documenting of what would be required, the processes, what skills gaps you have, would you be considering outsourcing, and so on. Another popular one is behavioural psychology and change management, no doubt key in these uncertain times. And some further examples for you. So how might you refine and enhance your strategy given the current circumstances and develop effective business-wide KPIs? Do you want to train your senior team and board to improve strategic thinking and decision making? No doubt COVID will have shown you some of the elements of your business that you need to be looking at. How can you recover and become more resilient? How can you pivot your business as required? Now, mKTPs are a relatively new programme and we're all learning what the key aspects of a successful application are. Here are some that have been shared with us, which we will of course support you in demonstrating if you wish to apply for one. We need big picture thinking and a step change in your business. The impact of the mKTP will most likely affect many business areas, so it's not a single part of your business that's looked at. We need to demonstrate an holistic approach. As mentioned previously, improved commercial returns have to be demonstrated through the application, along with narrative on how and why these are expected to be achieved. We've been told by BAYS that they're really keen on people-oriented projects, which is great to hear. So including changes in people management, such as reward systems, empowerment, communication strategies, etc., are all recommended. It's also recommended that applicants use the ONS productivity calculator to clearly show their current productivity level and determine what level they aim to achieve through the mKTP, because that's going to be a baseline measure and then what you're hoping to achieve. Okay, so as mentioned earlier, the KTP team at York, we're here to support you every step of the way. So I'm giving you a lot of information there, I'm sorry about that, but I do hope it gives you a flavour of how an mKTP could be a benefit to your business. I'm now going to let you hear from members of one of our current KTPs. It's an unusual one in that the KTP at IBM has 2 associates and it's also 3 years long, so it's as big a KTP as you're going to find. It is a standard KTP, not mKTP, but as noted, the format and principles are exactly the same for both, so it's wholly relevant. So I'm going to hand over to Steve Hobson. Unfortunately, he's had to step in at the very last minute, so do bear with him. And I'll put the slides on for you, Steve.
Thanks, Tracy. So, yeah, as Tracy said there, this is kind of an overview of the KTP that we've been running at IBM for the last couple of years. We're 2 years into over 2 years into the 3-year programme. My name's Steve Hobson, and Alex and John are going to share their experience as associates as well. So the structure that we're going to work with here is obviously a bit of introduction, and then both myself from the company's point of view and Alex and John from the associate point of view are going to share the benefits of this programme, the difficulties that we've experienced, and we'll answer the question, was it worthwhile? So obviously this is a picture of Andy rather than myself. Unfortunately, Andy is unwell and unable to attend today. Andy owns the business case for this KTP, and I'm sort of his technical counterpart. So I'm a software development manager, and I run the the IBM York lab. So I've worked on this project since the beginning, and as I say, I kind of own the technical case and Andy owns the business case. So the benefits of this program to IBM, I guess the most obvious one upfront is subsidised research costs. So as Tracy outlined there, we make a 50% contribution towards the project, but there's obviously a 50% contribution coming from the government, which is fantastic. Second is amazing talent. So they're obviously co-panelists with me, John and Alex, and KTP is a great way of attracting very smart people to come and work in your company. We've got a really exciting research project that we were able to advertise and present, and we've got some really smart people to come and work with us. Access to world-leading academics. So as Tracy mentioned, as part of the KTP, you get access to academics within the university as well. So there's a kind of a couple of ways that we've seen value from that. One is that they directly support John and Alex. So when John and Alex have technical questions, when they're kind of thinking through how to solve a problem, they go away and they talk to the academics. But also we regularly meet as a whole team with ourselves at IBM and the academics at the university as well, and John and Alex, and we kind of talk through high level where the project is, and we kind of brainstorm ideas, and it's really great to have their experience and insight at that level as well. So we get a lot of value out of that. The laser focus on research. It's in a company. It can, we're very we're results driven, we're a commercially driven organization, and so it's not always easy to keep focus on on what is definitely a research project, but because the KTP requires us to focus on these things, we're able to keep that laser focus on the capability that we're developing here, and that has been a big benefit. I mean, John and Alex are fully focused on that, it has continued to develop our relationship with the university and with Innovate as well, and that's a really important thing to us. We're actually based on the university campus, and we work very closely with the university, and it's continued to help us develop that relationship. In terms of difficulties, now I joined IBM as the KTP was starting, so I missed a lot of the difficulties in getting the KTP established. I know it wasn't an easy process always because of some of these difficulties that we're listing here. So there were some challenges, and a lot of those I think come from the fact that IBM is a very large organisation with its fair share of bureaucracy. I think that impacted, and these wouldn't necessarily be a barrier for every company, but agreeing who owned the IP, I know, was a challenge. IP is a very important thing to IBM, and so I know there was quite a lot of discussion between the legal teams at the university and IBM to sort that out. Committing to that 3-year project contract as part of the project again was getting the stakeholders in the company to agree to that was I know a challenge. The timing of the recruitment was getting the associates lined up to start with the start of the project, finding the right people, getting them in post at the right time was again more of a challenge because it's a larger KTP, so we needed 2 people, not just a single associate. One of the issues we've found as the project has gone on is finding a balance between publishing and, in our case, patenting information. So where we've developed new techniques that are patentable, there's a desire in IBM to patent those, but that's slightly, there's a bit of friction there between the academics wanting to publish and us wanting to patent things, and working out what can be shared and what can be published. So that's been an ongoing conversation. Balancing research and commercial aspects. I talked about that laser focus on research. The other side to that, I guess, is that we are, as I said, obviously a commercially driven organisation, and we need to be showing results. And finding that balance between allowing John and Alex to focus on research and wanting to deliver results has been a challenge as well. And the agile versus waterfall is an interesting thing for KTPs in general. So at the start of, as part of the KTP application, there's a full project plan that gets produced. So you essentially are mapping out how you're going to solve the problem from beginning to end. And that is not how we work in IBM. I mean, it was a really great piece of work, that plan that was produced, but I'm not going to tell you that we have done exactly what that plan says. The order of things have been changed, and we've worked in an agile fashion. We've been building prototypes from the beginning. We've iterated. We've adjusted the plan according to the results we've seen. We've adjusted our plan according to the results that that we're seeing both in the deployed product and in internal feedback. So it has been, we have not followed that linear plan that was set out. And in terms of the reporting that we do, a lot of that is based around that plan that was written at the beginning. So there's a little bit of friction there in terms of how we report and how the project is run compared to that kind of way it's laid out. Was it worthwhile? Well, it's definitely an emphatic yes. We've managed to get this capability into production in market within 2 years, which is a fantastic achievement by the team. And it definitely wouldn't have happened if we weren't doing this KTP. We would not have had that focus on this capability, which 2 years ago seemed a really long way off. When we started the project and we looked at how hard the problem we were trying to solve was, it seemed, we know it's a very challenging problem, and I think we may well not have embarked on it without the KTP. And what we've built in that time is a fantastic platform for us to build on into the future. So we are absolutely delighted with the way the project's gone. So I'm going to hand over to our associates to present their side of things.
Yeah. So hi, my name's John. I'm one of the KTP associates working with IBM. I handle more of the software engineering / enterprise systems side of the project and research related to that and productization of that research. So from mine and Alex's point of view, benefits have been many and varied. So a little bit of background, both of us came straight out of doctoral level programs at the University of York. So really we're working in quite a academia and research based environment. So this has been a great introduction to how real software engineering takes place in the world in an especially large scale company like IBM. And it's allowed us to really focus and develop our skills of applying our research skills and knowledge in the domain from our PhDs to real life problems that we've been trying to solve at IBM. Yeah, so I think it is slightly unusual that IBM has 2 doctoral level associates associated with the project. That's a major benefit from our side, at least, in that any work that we do for IBM has actually contributed to the more academic related outputs, such as the publishing of patents, the publishing of research papers related to the work, where agreement has been made between the university and IBM. In some sense, getting IBM's name on a paper and getting those results out in the world is on one hand great advertisement for the company, but also very helpful in developing our own careers in academia if we so wish to pursue that. Talking to other associates within the community, yes, this in some sense is also a long job interview between us, the associate, and the company. I know of quite a few other associates that have gone on to full-time positions at the company they work for, but like I said, also gone back to academia to pursue that career. So it's great for both sides in that respect. And with what the other companies offered us is access to the resources that that are provided by IBM. So, obviously a big organization. We've been able to access much in the way of computational resources such as IBM Cloud and their Fire resource to aid in our research, and also access to like a wide variety of educational courses, certifications, memberships to various societies through the KTP network, and also through the IBM ecosystem. So that's the benefits in a nutshell. Hand over to Alex now.
I'm Alex Cornelis, and I'm also a KTP associate at the IBM University of York project, and my expertise is in artificial intelligence and machine learning. My role is also research and development of AI techniques, and the challenges from the that we face from the associates point of view are again they have to do mostly with balancing the research and software development for this project. So at many points we had to decide what would be the most value and sort of make an assessment of if doing more research will get us to a stage where we'll be able to solve more problems, or just improving features of the product, and the user experience will bring more value overall. Of course, there was also the case of the publications versus patents. So we again had to balance these two and find which pieces of our work could lead to published papers and which ones should be patented and protect the IP for the company. And what has helped in this whole process was the adaptation of this agile development that we follow in our work to include research goals and outcomes. And we also got a lot of new team members, and we greatly expanded our team after some initial progress, and that has also helped us balance the commercial aspects of the project. We have also faced some challenges about new technologies and bringing those into production. So new technologies often have amazing capabilities, but research software can be very new. The testing of it is limited, and the required resources for using it in a production setting might be too many, or might need some optimization. There's also the issue with licenses. Some of the licenses for research products software is not suitable for commercial purposes. In this aspect, we have had a lot of help from researchers of the university. So one interesting aspect of the KTP is that besides the team of the academics and the associates, there's also collaboration with researchers from the whole university, our research group. And those researchers have often helped us with all these issues about new research software and how to improve it in order for it to be used in a commercial setting. And another challenge we have faced as associates is that we have to follow processes of the company, the university, and also the specific processes that the KTP project structure requires. Some of those, an example of that would be like mapping this progress that we have done in this sort of agile development framework to the initial waterfall plan for assessment that we have. We quarterly have this assessment with all the members of the KTP teams. We also have to manage the budget of the project, and so in general there's this additional paperwork and bureaucracy that we need to balance. And what has been very helpful doing that is the constant support that we get from the university KTP team. They are very experienced and run many KTPs, and they always guide us through these processes. So finally, I'm going to tell you what has been worth about the KTP from our perspectives. So first, for me, it has given me the chance to participate in this whole product development life cycle. So we started doing research, then we moved to experimentation, building prototypes, making a minimum viable product, and finally having a full product in production, getting user feedback and improving and enhancing that product. So being involved in this whole process has been very valuable to me, and I think it's like it's a job role that gives you exactly this opportunity to see many different aspects of all the stages that a project needs to go until you bring up a product to the market. And another very interesting aspect about KTPs was very valuable for me was that by design a KTP will involve working in a team with expertise diversity, and that's like kind of the whole point of transferring knowledge, so that working in such an environment has helped me develop many new skills. And finally, our project has been quite successful, so we've got lots of great outcomes. We've got patents, we are working on academic research publications, and of course we do have a working product available to users. So, I don't know if John wants to...
Yeah, I think Alex covered many of the major points that I was going to, but in short, yeah, KTPs have definitely aided in my knowledge and understanding of working with large software teams, and it's great that we've been able to get a product out in such short time. It's definitely a great achievement for me and for the team. And the other thing is that through the KTP and through collaboration with the university, we've been able to raise our profile as researchers in both an industrial and academic context, with patents that have been published and the research papers that we've been able to produce as well. You know, with industrial backing from IBM and backing from a large research institute like University of York, those types of things a little bit more prestigious, carry a little bit more weight, you know, when we do these types of things. I think that's it.
Okay, I think we're done, Sarah.
All right, I'll interject. Great. Thank you ever so much, everybody. Really interesting. If any of our attendees would like to ask any questions, you can raise your hand and I can invite you in, or you can just ask a question in the Q&A box. If not, I've got a couple of questions that I'm going to fire at our specialists, if that's right. I just wondered with Jonathan and Alex, where are you actually working now? Have you been offered jobs with IBM as a result of this, or are you extended your studies?
Oh.
Can you hear me? Have I frozen?
Hello. Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Sorry, I think I lost my connection there. I was just asking, as a result of the KTP, have yourself and Alex continued working for IBM, or have you gone back into studying? How effective has that KTP been on your career?
So we're not completely finished with KTP right now, actually. We're running until end of March next year, so there's still actually quite a ways to go yet in that respect.
Okay.
and they are working from home effectively. I think the entire IBM is working from home because they're IT based.
Okay, thanks for that.
It is the case though, Sarah, just to let your audience hear, that up to about 70% of KTP associates do end up working for their partner company.
Okay.
It's, as Stephen mentioned in the presentation, it is like a long interview for both parties, so it's really beneficial for both the associate and the company.
That's a great statistic for business owners who are thinking about it. You're getting that academic expertise into the business, but you're also getting, you know, a year-long job interview where you 70% is a great
long
statistic.
in this case. Yes.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, 3 years. Wow. Also, I'm asking from kind of business point of view, how does business select a candidate? Are they involved in the actual recruitment and the selection, or do they have one which is advised?
No, recruitment is undertaken by both partners, university together with the business. It's of course really vital that there is a fit. The individual or individuals actually fit into the company because they're based there, so it's done together. One of the questions that was raised earlier was about recruitment. At the moment, under COVID conditions, we have once a project is awarded the project, but we can recruit within that period and delay starting if it does mean that the individuals can actually go into the business and be located at the business.
Okay, thanks, Rukmal. We lost you slightly there, but I think we got most of that. Just to, can you confirm, Tracy, the next round for businesses and associates is October, is that right?
Yeah, so the next closing date is the 7th of October, and after that one it's the 2nd of December. So what happens is the application goes in, there's a period of time while they're obviously assessing the applications. Normally about 2.5 months later we'll get notification that we've been successful, hopefully. And then we've got, under normal circumstances, a period of 9 months to recruit the associate. So they don't get involved until after the whole application process is done. But under current COVID situations, we've actually got 12 months from receipt of the, yes, you've got your funding, to actually going live with the project. So 12 months. So let's say you put in October, you'd be looking to probably start recruiting early 2021, but you have got a significant time to do that, but earlier is obviously better.
Okay, and if a business was interested, what's the best approach for them to do? Would it be just to speak to you, yourself and Rukmal, about their particular project, and then you would let them know about the costings, etc.?
Yeah, absolutely. In the first instance, unless they've already got an association with somebody at the university in an area they're interested in, it's best to come straight to Rukmal and myself, and we'll take that forward, see where the expertise is within the university.
Okay, and the funding support from Innovate, was that 50%, Tracy?
50% if you're a larger company. SMEs actually get 67%. So for every £2 they put in, they get every pound they put in, they invest in the project, they get £2 back from Innovate UK.
And that's across the country, is it? Or is it just York and North Yorkshire? Yeah.
No, that's the entire country.
Great. So any SMEs that are interested in this, that's 67% support towards this amazing academic insight. And as you say, getting that into your business is invaluable. And thank you very much for sharing your experiences, Alex and Jonathan and Stephen as well from IBM. It's been invaluable today. So this resource will be available online for anyone who wants to look at it in the future, and it'll be a great resource for the growth of people might not have heard of KTPs, and I think it will really help them to understand what it can add to their business. So if anyone's got any more questions, please pop them in the Q&A. Sorry, Rukmal, continue.
Sorry, I was just going to say, in addition to what Tracy said, Innovate UK has done a survey about the impact of KTPs have on businesses, and they have demonstrated that every pound that they have invested, after 5 years, on average, a business would gain 8 more pounds in terms of profit generated as a result. So it's quite a huge impact to the business as a result of that small investment long term.
That's a really interesting figure to put to businesses, because sometimes they're going to think, well, I've got to put X amount of money in, so what am I going to get out of it? So if they can actually equate that with the profit, especially, you know, in today's environment and businesses kind of reacting and now going into the kind of recovery phase, they're looking at what can they do to kind of help their business in the future. And I think this is an ideal opportunity for them to get involved. So if anyone's interested, I've put the contact for Tracy and Rukmal in the comments. You can also contact me or the Growth Hub. I'd like to thank you very much for today. I don't think we've got any more questions come through. So in that case, I'll close the webinar. But if anyone got anything else they want to add before I close?
Just thank you for hosting, Sarah. It's great that you want to share the opportunity.
You're more than welcome. It's been great working with you all, and thank you very much. And thanks to Stephen for joining in at the last minute. Thanks to Alex and Jonathan, Rukmal and Tracy. Goodbye. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.